Okay, so back working on the K20. When I was driving it home, it ran great. I think the choke just hadn't opened all the way yet. And once the choke finally opened, it started idling real low. And yeah, it would die at stoplights and stuff. So I tried playing with it. I turned the idle up, and it just kept getting worse and worse. I found some vacuum leaks and stuff, and all this stuff. This is all EGR, which is just, it takes exhaust gas and throws it back up into the intake, which is stupid. Yeah, doesn't do anything. It's just emission stuff that didn't work, and I'm gonna take it off eventually, but I just don't want to right now, so I'm not going to. Yeah, anyways, I pulled the carburetor off to retune it. There's under this, which is the needle seat, there's some type of screw, and then right down here you can actually see where the hole is, right down there. Another one, and it's like it's not a screw even, it's like a cylinder that's got two flats on it, and I gotta use a needle nose, and I gotta pull the carburetor off just to adjust it. But I readjusted it. It was like 6 or 7 turns out, and that's because they were trying to get it run rich enough to compensate for the vacuum leak that was the base gasket. And I found out that I had a vacuum leak because I was spraying starting fluid. I sprayed it down here first to check if the screw was leaking, but I don't think there's vacuum at the screw, so it didn't really matter. And I just sprayed on the back of the carburetor, and it idled up, and the side. So I knew that I had a vacuum leak, and you could hear it pretty bad, and it smelled lean, or at least what I think lean smells like. I turned the screws all the way in. It was 12 turns out, half turns out on this side, and 10 half turns out on this side. And so I turned them all the way in and brought them both 6 half turns out, which is 3 full turns. And that's what people say on the internet. And they say if it's too rich there, turn it in half turn until it lean misfires, and then half turn back. So I'm gonna leave the screws where they're at. I'm just gonna double check them, but I'm gonna yank the carburetor off. It's just 4 bolts and a bunch of vacuum lines and throttle cables and stuff, and cruise control. That's what this thing is cruise control. I don't know if it works, but there's just a bunch of random vacuum lines floating around doing stuff. God knows what, but yeah, I'm gonna start taking this carb off. Alright, so if I remember correctly, I got all the vacuum lines off and stuff. Fuel line disconnected. Should just pick right up out of here. Oh, one connector. If I can get it. I forgot that one last time too. And here it goes. That is a Quadrajet spread bore carburetor. So when you're driving, just normal on the gas, your choke when you're warmed up should be open. This has an electric choke, and whatever this is, who knows. But I feel like there should be a washer there because it's tearing up the top of the carb pretty good. Not gonna worry about it. Anyways, so when you're driving, you're just on a little bit of throttle, you know, you're just driving normal. you're using the front two, these two little ones here, and then when you really get on it, the back two big ones in there whack open, and it gives it a weird surge. That's just part of this carburetor. And I don't know if it's vacuum operated or how exactly it works, or it's just when it's at full throttle they open. But yeah, I don't know. I messed something up now, but yeah. So I'm gonna stuff some rags down in there. There's a lot of carbon buildup on this side, which you can't really do anything about because if I scrape it off, it's just going down the intake either way. So I think I'm just gonna leave it, let it chew. But here's the problem. This is all you got for a gasket. So it's just supposed to squish, but it's super dry and not doing its job anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reuse it, but I'm gonna run to AutoZone and get some Ultra Black Permatex and just put a thin coat, just barely get it on there, just rub it on with my finger on the sealing surface here, and hopefully that seals it up. That's what the underside looks like. It's got a bunch of weird vacuum ports and stuff, weird stuff going on. Now I gotta figure, oh, there we go. Yep, so I'm gonna stuff some rags down there so nothing gets down there while I'm gone. And yeah, go get some Permatex for this. I'm gonna throw this up on the bench over there. Just let it chill. Mads is awaiting patiently for his hose clamps that I stole for this thing, but I don't really want to spend the money on an oil change yet. So we're just gonna wait for that. Or plugs or anything. I really don't want to. But it's probably a good idea. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw some rags down there and run to AutoZone. Okay, so I ran to AutoZone, came home, and I was 6 minutes late to class, but it was all good. So this is all where I left it, not surprising, but I got new wipers. The interweb said they were 16s, so that's what I got. They look kind of big compared to the ones that are on there. That doesn't look like 16 inches to me, but I guess we'll find out. And then I got valve stem caps because I don't have any. I don't know why, but they were $6, so got that. And then I got me some Permatex Ultra Black. That's what Junkyard Digs used, and Junkyard Mook used on their F100 on the intake gaskets, like on the manifold. I figured if it worked on the manifold, it'd work on the carburetor. So that's what I'm using. It'll probably leak everywhere and get in my valves and kill my motor or something, but I guess I'll throw these on quick because I'm already here. Alright, let's see if these work. I don't really have an option, but Yeah. Kind of looks really cheesy, but I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? You know? Do you want to go on there, please? This is like going on crossfed. There we go. I gotta take these wheels somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to aluminum wheels. So I'm gonna see if there's like some polish shop that pay like $100. Fix these up real nice because I love these wheels, but they're a little worse for wear. And this, I don't know what you call those. Last one. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna get to cleaning out the intake manifold on the bottom of the carburetor. Because well, I got school at 1:40 and it's like 1 o'clock right now, like 1:20. So I'm gonna clean all off this rust off. Just try and get it as smooth as possible. And the sealing surface is only the edge. And I'm not gonna put any on like the metal or the carburetor. I'm just gonna do a thin layer on the gasket. So I guess I'll get my razor blade and start scraping this off, see if I can get anything to come up, and if not, I'll just throw the gasket on. But so I scraped it off. Not much came off, but doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna get this out of the package. I'm just gonna use my fingers, wipe this down maybe with some brake clean or something, just a little bit on a rag. Just try and get the majority of the junk off. And then I'll just do a thin little brush all the way around on the sealing surface. So yeah, I'll show you what I did over here. So basically I just put a layer all the way around it. Now just gonna drop the carb in and let it sit till I get out of school and give it fuel. I'm not even gonna hook up a gas line or anything. I don't want any risk of fuel getting on the RTV. So I'm gonna throw this on there and bolt it down. Okay, so I got it on there. It's making noises like I was snapping bolts, so I don't know. Yeah. It's on there. I'm gonna hook up throttle and stuff over here. This just slips on there like that. And this one does the same. And there's another little one down in here. The clips are sitting down here somewhere. But I'm too short to reach, so gotta get a chair. And this is part of all the emission stuff. Like, someone's blocked off some of this stuff. And like, what even is this thing? What? Like, what? Okay, well, at the end of that clip, you saw me messing with whatever this is, right? And it was sitting in this corner, And well, I realized that it wasn't connected to anything over there. This was it. This is just that line. And that line goes to something that's not connected to anything. And when I took that thing out of here, all this stuff fell out of it. So I think it's some type of a charcoal canister. Well, it's not going back in, clearly, because it's just rotted out. So, and that stuff was in my intake. So, I guess while that's drying, I'm gonna try and take off some more of the smog bullshit. And, yeah. Just get rid of as much of it as I can. Make my life less confusing. Maybe reroute this cable too, like over here, and hide it and make it neat or something. I don't know. So I took that out. I think I'm gonna do an EGR delete, just because, you know, I don't want it. Because then that gets rid of this and this EGR pump down here, and whatever this was looked important. I don't know why there's EGR ports running to the coolant, but you know, none of those are connected anymore. So yeah, I think it's about time for me to go into school. So I'm gonna shut up shop here, let that RTV dry, whatever that is, wash into the drain, and yeah, throw this junk away. Okay, so whatever this line is, I just got a bolt in it, but you can see everything has vacuum caps on it now. Yeah. If something doesn't work, I'll find out what it does, and then I'll hook a line back up to it. But, yeah, I got everything, all the vacuum lines that I felt were important. All the ports on the carb are plugged, except for the booster. That's the only one that's connected. And I think it has a manual kickdown for the trans. So, should be fine. If the trans doesn't kick down, I think it's this sensor for the kickdown. But it looks really good in there. My battery's all wet, which is always a good thing. And then I got my EGR or whatever pump bullshit plugged off. I don't even know where they run now. Like, it's not hooked up to anything, so it can't run to anything. Isn't that how that works? This goes to here. Exhaust gas comes over, crossover tube, into this thing. And then the only port, I don't even understand what it did. That's the only thing that comes off the accelerator, or the EGR pump, is this hose back here, and it goes to this. So I don't know. I don't know what the EGR did. It's kind of just in my way now. But yeah, I was gonna buy a air cleaner instead of the stock one, but it was for an Edelbrock and I didn't think it was gonna fit, so I didn't. So I'm gonna go on the interwebs and look for one for a Quadrajet. But I'm gonna go inside because it's pouring rain and I'm soaked, but so is half my engine bay. But I'll come back tomorrow. Yeah, like, this is junk. Who would want that? But I'll come back tomorrow and See if it runs. If I get a new air filter, I think I'm just gonna do the good old lid flip, you know, for maximum torques. Oh, I gotta grab my blocks. But this is all the emission stuff that I tore off. The next video will be getting it running. I'm gonna upload this tonight, so. I mean, look at all this junk. This wasn't, like, if any of this wasn't in there, it wouldn't be connected to anything. I don't even know how that makes sense. I want to know how granules of charcoal, like that pile from under the truck, got into the intake. Like, that stuff's in the carburetor. I don't understand, but thanks for watching. Truck's coming along so far. Gotta order floors, and to do the cab corners, I gotta pull the bed off. So I think I'm gonna hang it from the rafters. I'm just gonna get real far back in there. I'm gonna pick it up over the wheel well, and then I'm just gonna drive forward a couple feet, whatever I need. I mean, if it's all the way back here, the box will end like here-ish. And then whenever I'm welding in floors, I'll just pull forward a couple feet, pull this thing out. So, thanks for watching.